Wait a little bit, warm up our voices, and she can warm up hers while she's here. So we're going to start. Let's stand and sing. We are unity. We will stand here together in this moment right now, as we move on our way through a moment of power. In our circle of friends, knowing the power of choice, we lift each other up with one united voice. You and me, we are unity. You and me, we are unity. You and me, we are unity. We see in each other unlimited strength. Have faith in the wisdom that love can set us free. Release all the things that we no longer need. We imagine a life full of passion and zeal. You and me, we are unity. You and me, we are unity. We will stand here together in this moment right now, as we move on our way through this moment of power. In our circle of friends, knowing the power of choice, we lift each other up with one united voice. You and me, we are unity. Got a little Cajun for you this morning. This started as a Karen Drucker song, and I added my own little twist to it. So if you recognize the first part of it, that's what it is. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. Stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let freedom reign from every bell around this land. Let every voice be lifted, every woman, every man. Let us turn our hearts to joy. Walk together hand in hand. Raise each other up, it's time to take a stand. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let freedom ring, oh, from every band around this land. Let every voice be lifted, every woman, every man. Let us turn our hearts to joy. Walk together hand in hand. Raise each other up, it's time to take a stand. Let's repeat that last line. Raise each other up, it's time to take a stand. Do you have guitar off? There it is. Okay. All right, so let's move on into some Ricky Byers. This is like all the classics. The first one, by the way, was a song that I wrote, and it has all the 12 powers in it, apart from one, which is organization. But I did organize it to put it all the other 11 in. So here we go. This is Use Me. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you so use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you so use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Yay, Unity Band. Yay, Unity Band. And I've always wanted to work with Johnny Depp, so feel great to be here. Good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills. This is a special Sunday for many, many reasons. One of it is that we have a very special guest with us, Barbara McGillicuddy. She is from Miami. She's a multi-talented singer, songwriter, author, former music director of Unity of Space Coast, still a very active member, and a pet psyche. She is going to be leading the session this Wednesday at Pamela Smith's Mysticism and Metaphysics. And I want to put in a plug. The quality, I mean, if this were baseball, Pamela's sessions have been hitting them out of the park every week. I mean, to hear what's going on downstairs on Wednesdays, most people would pay big bucks and go to Maui and Zaui to hear I mean, last week we had Rick Gallagher, a Reiki master and Tibetan bowl player, and it was, I mean, before we've had, I mean, incredible, and Pamela has led some of them which have also been incredible. So I strongly encourage you, but I work during Wednesday. It doesn't matter. We record them when we remember to push the record button, which is often. But sometimes the session will start in mid-sentence for you. But we can send those links to you. Speak to me, speak to Ari, and we'll make sure those links get to you. So Barbara, we're so glad that you're here, going to be doing the meditation. We're going to be continuing the series on Eye of the Storm by Gary Simmons, which I think is really important to what we have and the world, I think, is going through. We're also, we're so glad to have Fran with us. Fran, it's not a definite, but Fran may be transferred to a facility in Charlottesville. If that were to happen, our loss would be Unity of Charlottesville's gain. We would come see you in Charlottesville, but we know it's not definite, but you're here with us today, and we're so glad to have you here with us. There's going to be a wonderful celebration of Halloween downstairs. We thank Mary Sue Purcell for leading on the decoration. They're really good. And all the food downstairs is health food, so don't worry about it. And again, in Unity, Halloween is, in a sense, we're so much about getting rid of error thoughts, getting rid of the shadow, which the ghoulies, ghosties, and goblins, which are still, a lot of them for many of us are still way back in the 20th century, to deal with that work, and that's a very important part of Halloween. But there's another reason why today is really important, because it is Judy's, literally her birthday. Can we sing happy birthday to Judy? Every Sunday coming here, and she's busy downstairs doing so.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Judy. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
And let's bless this Unity candle with that great affirmation. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives. God, the good, omnipotent. As a minister, I get handed several times a year works which claim to be channeled from spirit. But when Susan Gallagher handed me this copy, and we have copies of this downstairs in the bookstore, the purity of it, the connection to spirit. It was interesting. Pamela and I didn't talk before the class, and both of us were just raving about it. And I think it's so much of it so ties into what, on an individual level, and particularly on a global level of what we're going through. Spirit, and again, a lot of times it refers to Susan as little one. It says the Spirit, you can manifest whatever you desire. However, it is imperative to be clear about what it is you desire to manifest. Be patient, little one, and all will come to you. Rejoice in abundance. How do you release judgment, little one? By opening your heart to love. And Spirit also said, the lesson is about accepting the responsibility for your power to create what you want, to ask for and to receive answers, and to accept responsibility for creating the energy that you desire. I remember my first church was in Tulsa, and we had, next week we're doing friends and family, invite friends and family and all that. We did that in Tulsa. And one of our board members brought somebody, a good friend, and at the end of the service, she turned to the friend and said, so what did you think? And she said, well, Unity, it's just too much responsibility. We have that power we have that responsibility. Does everybody have a copy, have globes? And I thank Susan Susan Gellar for thinking this. Everybody should have that globe. Let's take it out. On so many levels, in terms of society, polarization, rising inequality, social injustice. But on a global level, strife and war in so many places. Dear Spirit, we take this globe in our hands. At the end of the service, we're going to sing a song which says, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." Let this be more than just window dressing. Let this be more than just window dressing. And I am feeling very much called by Spirit, something, I shared it last week, but something, unfortunately or fortunately, I can't claim, this amount of direct contact with Spirit. But I do feel a few weeks ago, very much Spirit saying to me, if it is immoral and wrong on the individual level, then just slapping nation state or political ideology on it doesn't make it right on a global level. Truth is truth on all levels. We see that spirit of peace surrounding the world, flowing from our hearts, and we hold to this vision. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Now, you leave the service, you leave Unity in the Seven Hills, you're pumped up, you turn on the news and you hear what's going on, the reaction could be Unity, it's a bunch of happy babble. It's a bunch of happy babble. Remember, life has always been 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 1 step back. The trick of faith is to hold to the vision. Hold to what you know to be spiritually true. To be protectors of the flame when it is a period where you're going 1 step back, as it were. I also spoke about Isaac Asimov last week. Gosh, several of you have sent me such wonderful things this week. Your comment tricked this, and then he sent back to me. I never met Isaac Asimov, the science fiction writer, but one of you did, and you shared with me you're coming into contact with Isaac Asimov. Asimov, one of the things he wrote was called the Foundation Trilogy, which science fiction, which I bet you many or some of you have read. Essentially, this is science fiction in a galaxy far away, and it's just the way the galaxy has been living. These scientists know that you can't stop a dark age from coming. It's going to come. There's going to be darkness coming. But their goal is to make that darkness only exist for a short amount of time, to bring on a rebirth, a renaissance as soon as they can. If you listen to the news and you hear that darkness, hold to this vision. Like Asimov's Foundation trilogy, hold on to that and know that you can play a key role in shortening that 1 step back instead of having it be 2 steps back, as it were, so we can start to advance. My first Unity minister, Reverend Helise Green, a wonderful minister, used to lead us in an affirmation. She would say, "We are on the upward, forward progress of spirit. The mark of success, the mark of success." That 1 step back, instead of having it be 2 steps back, as it were. We are on the upward, forward spiral of spirit. The mark of success is upon us. And this gets very much, each week we do a principle. This week we are on the 3rd principle. Essentially, as the Unity song puts it, our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts, our prayers take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a place of peaceful rest, and know that God is always there. then every thought will be a prayer. When you are listening to the news, and I would strongly suggest parameters on how much time you are spending listening to the news, and be careful about what news sources you're going to. Remember, you probably, by spreading more negative news, you are, increasing circulation, as it were. Remember that every thought is a prayer. If you can hold to that vision, even when it's one step back, that's important. Let's say this is one way of saying that third principle about our thoughts and prayers. Thoughts have creative power to determine events and can attract experiences. They honestly, truly do. The law of attraction, or mind action, a thought in mind produces after its kind. If you're holding a lot of negative thoughts, guess what? You're increasing the probability that's probably going to happen. If you think that something is impossible, as long as we thought the 4-minute mile was impossible, guess what? The 4-minute mile was impossible. When people started believing that, yes, the 4-minute mile could be broken, then the 4-minute mile was broken. Speaking of 4-minute miles, it seems like our youth program has been growing so fast that our leader of it, Crystal, seems to have to do 4-minute miles too. And she's running a wonderful program. We have a sign-up sheet back there, which I see some folks have signed up, asking if it's in your heart to volunteer, like for a Sunday or something. That'd be wonderful. And thank you. They're going to go downstairs now. They'll be back at the end of the service, and we'll look forward to hearing about what happened during the children's service. Let's bless our kids. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are. Let's sing.
Ready? Let's stand and sing. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woohoo! Please be seated. Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And our vision statement: we are an inclusive community centered in spirit. We embrace our divine oneness, power, and purpose. And I've asked Sally Ingram to come on up and read the Daily Word. Can we take a mic for Sally for a second? There we go. Sally, as you know, was just very recently elected to be our president and has stepped forward. She hasn't found how to take the leg manacles off yet, but we're so glad that you're doing all this work for us.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, today's daily word is imagination, and I am so excited. This is one of my favorite powers. I imagine and create my most magnificent life. I admire the storyteller's gift for creating fantastic worlds where impossible things happen. I immerse myself in the story, allowing myself to feel the wonder, the exhilaration, and even the sadness in the storyteller's imagination that has been created. No matter how scary the story, there is nothing to fear. It is only a story. My imagination, our Unity in the Seven Hills imagination. Think of it that way. Unity in the Seven Hills imagination helps us create a life story guided by divine wisdom and will We create a positive and meaningful life. If disturbing thoughts cloud our imagination, we remember we are God's living expression. There is nothing to fear. Our spiritual gifts of faith, love, and strength, and understanding, join with our imagination to build the fulfilling life of my heart's desires. And as I was reading this, I looked to my left and I saw Star. Star with his Harry Potter wand, and the band was up here practicing away, and Star was the maestro. He had his imagination just going and flowing. That's who we are. It's even in our children. So Joel 2:28 tells us, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Joel 2:28.
Thank you. And now, some special praise music.
So I want to invite up Barbara McGillicuddy from Titusville, right? Unity on the Space Coast. And I'm going to join you on one of these songs here with my violin.
Yep, love it. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Good morning. This is called Come Commune with Me. I am the substance, I am the light, I am the life and source of all. I am the music, I am the song, the breath of heaven, hear my call. I am open and willing and filled, manna of heaven, I will sing in the garden and dance with the angels. I come to say, be still, be still, come commune with me in Phil. Be still, be still, come commune with me in Phil. I will sing in the garden, dance with the angels. I've come to say, be still, be still, breath of heaven, hear my call. Be still, be still, come commune with me in Phil. Be still, be still, come commune with me in Phil. Be still, be still, come commune with me in still. Come commune with me, be still.
Would you like to tell them something about this?
I'm sorry, yes.
No, yeah.
So actually, this just got recorded 5 days ago, and I drove into Virginia yesterday, and I sent this to Daniel. He is winging it, and this was actually written, much to my reverend's chagrin, in the middle of a Good Friday service. And she asked me, she said, "Did you not like what I was saying?" I said, "Silly, I loved what you were saying so much, you've inspired a song." So that's how that was born. Okay, and the next song I'm going to do is a little more upbeat. It's called, I wrote it in the middle of, what do you call that horrible time that we had?
Oh, yeah.
The C word,
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah.
That should not be mentioned, right?
Right, that's why it's a C world. But anyway, here we go.
Here we go.
You're feeling sad and lonely, you're scared and all alone. Confusion is your mainstay, can't even reach the phone. You don't know how to fix it, you're scared to even try. You look around, take a breath, then you lay back down and cry. Lord knows we're far from perfect, but we're laughing at the end, 'cause we'll pull through together. If you let me be that friend. Let me be that friend. I'm here for you, my brothers, my sisters, all my loves. God hear it for all of us with angels from above. All of us together, holding hands, we'll make it friends. Have a little faith in me and let me be that friend. God knows we're far from perfect, but we're laughing at the end. We'll pull through together if you let me be that friend. Let me be that friend. We'll heal our hearts together. Let me be that friend. Our lives are entwined forever. Let me be that friend. This planet needs us more than ever. Let me be that friend. Take my hand, I'll help you stand. Friends until the end. Lord knows we're far from perfect, but we're laughing at the end. We'll pull through together if you let me be that friend. If you let me be that friend. Let me be that friend. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay.
As they say in the music world, just like we practiced it.
Thank you so much, Barbara. And Daniel, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Well, when I was a graduate student in economics, my mentor was a little Jewish man by the name of Sar Levitan, a professor at George Washington University. He had the longest running grant, continuous grant from the Ford Foundation. And he said to me he felt the reason was because they started the grant in the 1960s and the programmer probably keyed it in and the key word, passcode was some Grateful Dead song. And nobody's found out which Grateful Dead song, so the checks keep coming. And so he was from a long line of rabbis, but given the fact he was so interested in social justice, and equity and things like that. A lot of people said he continued in many ways to be a rabbi. But he used to start his classes at the university. He would look at the class and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the subject for today's seance is," and then he would go into it. So let me say the subject for today's seance is making friends with conflict. Making friends with conflict. I could hear some of you saying, "Did Reverend Rick say making friends with conflict?" My God. Next he's going to be talking about making friends with the dentist or making friends with your colonoscopy. I mean, making friends with, well, yes. Reverend Gary Simmons makes this suggestion that we do become friends with conflict. We are in his wonderful book. This has been a series on the eye of the storm, embracing conflict and creating peace. I've said it several times. I think this is the most important book that Unity has published in a long time. It's right up there with Discover the Power Within You. And it was interesting, yesterday we did a board training with Reverend Tony Boehm from Unity Worldwide Ministries. And Reverend Tony talked, in the same breath she talked about The Eye of the Storm and Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth, right up there. So I was glad that I'm not the only one who sees those two books, really modern classics from the Unity movement. And the beauty is that all these services are recorded, they're up online, we archive them. If you didn't see an earlier one, you can see it, or you can, just click to it. But let me very quickly go through where we've been so far. Remember, Gary starts out by talking about when we come to, as it were, the scene of the crime. A lot of times what we see is predicated on so much of what we're bringing to the party, And also he talked about the missing piece, that many of us come with scarcity, and error thought, scarcity, lack, and we're looking at the situation from that missing piece. The next week, the second week, we talked about, Gary takes the metaphor of a hurricane, and I think he does a wonderful job. He talks about crises in our life being like a hurricane. You take the hurricane on the circumference of the storm. You take it on the circumference of the storm, and it can be really damaging. That's when, trees fall, gutters are ripped, drownings and everything else like that. But you can take that same storm from what he called the eye of the storm, the center of that storm. And I explained a time when I was up in Washington, D.C., and Washington was directly hit by a hurricane. And just being in the eye of the storm, that peacefulness, that getting into that center. And then we talked about how Gary makes a lot of great suggestions about how to get in that center. When you are in that center, then the crisis can be very different. It's not affecting you the same way on a personal level. And quite frankly, you can spiritually grow. Believe it or not, you can grow from that crisis. This week, Gary talks about, and by the way, we're not just doing Sunday talks on this. We also have a Spirit Circle, which is meeting on Monday nights on Zoom, 7:30 on Zoom. There's sign-up sheets in the back. I see several of you are been part of it. Don't worry, you don't have to re-sign to get the link. Once we have your email address, that's fine. But if you're interested in participating, please sign up, 7:30 on Zoom. If you folks out there in Cyberland, send us an email. We'll make sure you get the link. It's discussions which go into greater detail and depth into this. So Gary then talks about that once we get in the eye of the storm, there's a real difference, and quite frankly, we can respond differently to what's going on. He talks about, and again, Gary is also known for particularly Taekwondo. He's an expert in the martial arts, and has actually run several dojos and things like that. He has a little student named Scott, a little guy who just got his black belt, And Scott says, before I came a black belt, if someone pushed me around, I either ran away or had to fight because I was afraid. Now that I am a black belt, if someone wants to fight, I can walk away. I can walk away. And then Gary said, his students' comment ticked off in him. He said, I didn't know, when I was a kid, before this, I didn't know how to feel fear and be connected to my center at the same time. That's why I ran. I didn't fight, I ran. Scott discovered, writes Gary, a distinction between being in a threatening situation and feeling afraid, and being in that same situation and feeling confident. He didn't need to fight because his training taught him how to be connected to his sense of well-being and wholeness. And then Gary says, our school's motto was, his dojo's motto was, discover the black belt within you. Discover the black belt within you. And he said, of course, we borrowed the phrase from, as it were, from Eric Butterworth, discover the power within you. Scott's martial art practice, his little students' practice, helped him discover a power within himself that was greater than his fears. He learned that fear forces action, while centeredness and confidence reveals choices and options which you might not have known existed before. Gary talks about a famous Zen master in China named Mirandra, and what happened was that Mirandra, his village was, they were overrun by the Mongols, and Genghis Khan himself, mean, ornery Genghis Khan comes into the village. Everybody's run away, but there he is, Mirandra, and he's in lotus position, and Genghis Khan's on his horse, looks at Mirandra and says, I could take out my sword and run it right through you without blinking an eye. And Mirandra looks up at Genghis Khan and he said, sir, I could take a sword running through me without a blink of an eye. Genghis Khan was sort of taken aback by this. He came back the next day, there's Mirandra. He said, I'm going to build a monastery, a temple here, and I want you to lead it. I mean, that kind of centeredness. And then Gary talks about something, that conflict, again, he ties it very much to some of his Eastern religion practices. Gary's very interested in Taoism and the Dado Ching and the I Ching. Gary says, conflict is an interference pattern of energy. It arises in a field of influence and is evident in every dimension of life, in nature, in society, in relationships. Wherever there is change, movement, resistance, pressure, or interaction, there exists the potential for conflict. There is nothing that is without movement, without change. Every single thing is either coming into existence, developing, decaying, or going out of existence. Change and movement are inherent in the heartbeat of the universe. When change or movement is resisted, or when energy patterns intersect, shock waves are created, like colliding ripples on a pond. Interfering patterns of energy create a cascading influence that becomes the substance of new creations. i.e., if you think you're going to get through life without facing crises, forget it. You can be the best master of the 5 unity principles. That's no guarantee that you're not going to be hitting potholes, or things are going to be coming up. So Gary is saying, these conflicts are going to be arising on so many different levels. You might as well make friends with them and realize that you're going through them. You might as well learn the wisdom of taking the hurricane from the eye of the storm, from that spiritual centeredness, as opposed to taking it on the circumference of the storm where there's a lot of where there's a lot of damage. And when we do that, we can find that there will be many times when we make quantum leaps spiritually, a lot of times happens, quite frankly, through conflict. As I said, there's a saying in 12-step fellowships that pain and suffering oftentimes are the keystones of spiritual progress. It's not the only way, but it's the way many of us have. I mean, I think if you look back at the quantum leaps you've made, a lot of times it has come through crises. Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity movement, when did she have that great spiritual awakening? After the doctors told her, you have a disease which is going to kill you, and there's nothing more medical science can do for you. So long, it's been good to know you. That's when she had that, that deep spiritual awakening, and heard you were a child of God and therefore do not inherit sickness. And had that transformation experience, which eventually led to the founding of the Unity movement. It happened out of crisis. It didn't happen when Myrtle's life was on a roll. And I think that example of Myrtle is a key example of a situation where, as it were, realizing that that the crisis is going to happen. The question is, how are we going to take it, and how are we going to behave through it? Gary's also very interested in the I Ching, the book of changes, which is probably one of the oldest spiritual texts, or any text that we have. Very interesting. Dr. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychiatrist, was also extremely interested in the I Ching. Gary writes, whatever name we apply to these forces, matter, energy, particle, wave, their relationship is not static, but typified by constant movements or shifting of power. The universe is literally a dance of seeming polar opposites, blending, shifting, becoming, transforming cosmic sea of potentiality in an infinite sea of possibilities. And while the forces of attraction and repulsion push and pull as dance partners, there is an underlying synergy that brings order to all things under heaven. When the Berlin Wall fell, Soviet Union, the USSR became the USSR, end of communism and all that. A very famous book was published by a Stanford University professor called Francis Fukuyama, called The End of History. The End of History. Fukuyama's proposition, and many people bought it, was that essentially we have grown up, or we've seen a clash between ideologies, between communism, between liberal democratic capitalism, on the other side, and liberal democratic capitalism as one. There's no more conflict between two ideologies. So he didn't mean by the end of history you're not going to have different people playing in the Super Bowl or people elected president, but that conflict between ideologies and all that was over. One ideology won. And that, the end of history. Well, that lasted for what, 2 minutes? I mean, again, those sea of forces and coming together. And so I think Gary's right. The crisis keeps coming. The question is, how do we take them? How do we take them? Are they destructive in our lives, or do we go to that eye of the storm? And when we pull in like that, they can be such positive experiences. I thought the best way I could demonstrate and talk about this is to tell you two real stories. One I know very personally, the other I've read about and am deeply impressed by that. The first story is about a woman by the name of Reverend Donna Johnson. She was my minister at Unity of Fairfax for a good number of years, and she served there many years. And the position of president of Unity Worldwide Ministries became vacant. And they asked Reverend Donna, the board there asked Reverend Donna to become the president of Unity Worldwide Ministries. Whoa! Donna goes to Kansas City. She makes many, many positive changes, and I think was doing a wonderful job until something serious happened. The chief financial officer, true story, chief financial officer, and it's interesting, the chief financial officer was a Unity minister, but before that he had been an accountant, and so he really knew accountancy. He seemed to be a very prudent guy. I mean, I called him up several times for information, tax information, and he seemed to be very, very, very wise about this. For some reason, the tax laws as they apply to ministers very different from, it seems, almost any. And if any time some of you are having trouble sleeping and have insomnia, come speak to me. I'll tell you, we can go into the differences on the tax law. But anyway, he would seem to be very wise and all that, until somebody was looking around and they said, wait a minute, our books have been, Unity Worldwide Ministry books have been audited. We have been told they were audited, and this firm did the auditing, but we never paid I don't see any transaction that we ever paid for. What happened? Then they did a little more research and found that the auditing firm, which Unity Worldwide Ministries supposedly was using, did not exist. Oh my God. You mean the books of Unity Worldwide Ministry have gone unaudited for how many years? Larceny, embezzlement, are you your mind is going. Let me fast forward. And this is a clear case of reality is sometimes more unreal than fiction. No money was stolen. This CFO, this chief financial officer, did not embezzle. He just had a thing with dealing with auditors. He didn't like dealing with. I mean, if you wrote it up as a plot or a play, something for television, it'd be rejected as totally, unreal. But he didn't want to work with auditors, so he made up this firm. No money was stolen. Nobody. But anyway. Children, don't do this at home. But oh my God! At that time, we didn't know for sure. And oh my God, how did this happen? How could Reverend Donna Johnson let this? How could she let this happen? And what about the audit? Well, the auditing committee reports to Reverend Donna. It's her responsibility. How come she didn't know this? Well, my God, get rid of her. Get rid of her. Throw her out as quickly as you can. Try to erase everything on the website that ever mentions Reverend Donna with you. And Donna, poor Donna, was going through really feeling, rejection, abandonment. I mean, put yourself in her. I called her, I called her up and said, Donna, I really feel for what you're going through. Before ministry, as many of you know, I was chief economist with the United Way. And one of the things which sometimes kept me up at night was thinking about researchers who reported to me if they were just making up data. Could I know that they were, and I thought in several cases, there's no way in heck I would know if they were making, and I was fearful that this might be, it never did, thank God. But, so I really am, but poor, oh my God, Donna, I mean, nobody's talking, you were president, now nobody, you're persona non grata, and Donna is feeling such a sense, talk about storms and hurricanes, is feeling, and where's your money going to come? And all this, and finally she starts saying, my God, abandonment. Then she starts saying to herself, my God, I have felt this abandonment fear for all my life. It turns out her mom, when Donna was a very little girl, was missing in action key periods of her life. No wonder you start to have these fears of abandonment. Donna says, I should pull into the eye of the storm, and I should deal with these abandonment fears once and for all. This is what she started to do. as she did this healing work, as she did this shadow work, she started to really recover. Things which used to really, she was frightened of, she was not frightened of. She eventually left Kansas City, and she became and is the minister of a small church out in Arizona. She is, I guess Arizona in the desert, happy as a clam is not the right metaphor, but I've never seen her so, she's one of my heroes. I mean, she's taken this crisis and is healed and is happy out there in Arizona. She's taken some of her writings, put them together, and put it out in a book which has just been published, which is doing well. She has no desire, as it were, to run for another term for president, as it were. She's very happy being a local parish priest. I think a clear case of somebody who realized the storm's going to happen. I could either take it in the circumference or in the eye of the storm and spiritually grow through this. She sometimes comes back to Virginia. I've put us down. I said, next time you do, you got to come to Unity in the Seven Hills. I think you would love her too. Second story, about a woman by the name of Tam Jones. Tam Jones lives with her husband Luther and their 2 elementary school children in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, before the pandemic, before the dangerous C word and all that, she was a skincare specialist for a leading brand which owns skincare salons and clinics, and in an upscale mall. She was a top producer and everything else like that, doing fabulously well. Along comes COVID and everything shut down. Oh my goodness. Her kids don't have school. They're doing online school at home. She's at home taking care of the kids. The vaccine just comes out. Not a lot of people have had the vaccine, but the vaccine has come out. She gets a call and the company says, we're reopening. And we want you back, and we want you back right now. And it's going to be the schedule you had before. She said, but I can't do that schedule because my kids are home. They're not as well. Can't we work something out? And they said, yeah, we can work something out. You either come back here on Tuesday or you're fired. She was fired. Oh my God, financially, what is this going to mean? And again, so much of her self-worth came from being, I'm thus and so, I'm a leading producer for the skincare company and all that. Oh my God, she felt really taken down in a real crisis, in a real storm. And she started to say, how can what is before me truly be for me? How can this crisis, how can I actually gain through this crisis? And how can I take it in the eye of the storm? And she really started to center. And, when you do that, divine wisdom, divine guidance is there. What came to her, Tam is African American. What came to Tam is this great brand paid only minimal to African Americans and didn't know a lot about the beauty needs and the skincare needs of African American women. I know that stuff. And she starts calling people. I'll now come to houses and do skincare in people's. Boy, oh boy, her client list started to really grow. Her client list really started to grow. It was really successful. She started making more money now than she was before. Then as, the vaccination and things start opening up, she gets this idea. Why not open your own salon and do it as a high-scale salon? Do it as really, and she did that. It's thriving. It's thriving. It's thriving. And she can make her own products and stuff like that. I think down the road, what's going to happen is some cosmetic company is going to offer her some stock option deal or try to buy her out, because she has products which really sell and really have captured the needs of an important niche in the market. And also Tam during the crisis said to herself, Do I really believe this stuff? Is my faith really strong, or is it just something I mumble on Sundays? No, it's something I really truly believe. And Tam says now, above all, I want my business and life to be an emblem of what it means to have faith, big faith, big faith. So I think the key takeaways from all this are, as follows. Storms are going to happen in your life. I wish I could tell you, Domini, 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 no more storms in your life. That, I think, is not the deal. The storms are going to be there. The question is, do you take them on the circumference and it's destructive, or do you take them in the eye of the storm? Where, you know what? You could even grow. Tam said, if it wasn't for that crisis, I never would have grown. I never would have grown in terms of realizing my self-worth is an inside job. It's not because I'm connected to some brand. Or Reverend Donna. If Reverend Donna I spoke to her like 3 weeks ago, she said to me, I don't think if I hadn't gone through that crisis, I could see myself still surrounded by my abandonment fears. So when we are in the eye of the storm, when those storms hit, we can actually spiritually grow. And that when we can, as it were, make friends with crises, then I think, instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? Then big things happen. Gary talks about an ancient Chinese saying, which is, embrace tiger, return to mountain. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. In other words, the tiger, the danger, embrace it. And then you will return. The mountain, Charles Fillmore often talked about mountaintop spiritual experiences as being a symbol or a representation of high spiritual experiences, whether it's Mount Sinai or the Himalaya mountains in Buddhism and in Hinduism. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. I love it. I'm getting so many wonderful things from you guys. Each week, one of you sent me the following. It was a YouTube. I can't produce the visuals, which were just beautiful, but I can reproduce the words. And the words were this: a tree will die without stress. A tree will die without stress. A tree that hasn't been exposed to the elements of nature as a sapling is more likely to die later on and have a 60% lower yield. Life isn't about running away from a storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I see Reverend Gary saying to that, amen and amen. Thank you, and God bless.
That's why pirates don't play guitar. Or maybe they do, I don't know. Okay, so we are going to go into meditation. Would you like to get the lights? And then Barbara, we welcome back Barbara McGillicuddy. To take us through the meditation. So let's sing together. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding. Out beyond ideas of right field of forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding, out beyond ideas of right and wrong. There's a field, I'll meet you there. There's a field, I'll meet you there.
You're welcome to close your eyes, remain open, however you feel this meditation is best for you. And out in that beautiful field is a warm, blowing breeze that brings the calmness of spirit to you. I invite you to think in your life of something that you hold so dear, so much love, so much happiness and joy, and I want you to put that in the forefront of your mind and hold it there. As a quantum healer, I use this vibration of love to move over portions of our body that are not functioning at 100%. It truly is all about the love. And using that love, that joy, that peace, and that harmony, I'm going to ask you to rub your hands together with that joy in mind, that love in mind, and use it and place it over what area of your body is not functioning properly. Allow that energy, that God source. God is love. Love is God. Take that, go within, and move the cells in your body aside that are not functioning properly, and use your love as a fertilizer to grow the newer, healthier cells. And as you come out of meditation later on, and you start to feel that issue, all you have to do is remind yourself is that God love, that love of God has taken that from you. You no longer have that situation. It is your mind that tries to take you back there. We have the ability to heal ourselves. It is a gift from God. And you are welcome, encouraged, and taking the energy of zeal even. Allow your body to feel all of those emotions and heal that which was bothering you. For the next 17 to 21 days, make this a new habit. As the feeling of discord in your body tries to come, no, you reroute that as a circle. You hand it back to God because God has taken it from us. We just need to reprogram our mind so that we know we are healed, we are loved, and all is well. Namaste.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Let's stand and sing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well.
Thank you, and please be seated. I wish you would look at what's happening next as resources, not announcements, but resources which could possibly really help you in your spiritual walk. We're looking for volunteers, one for our Sunday broadcast team. I mean, we're getting this out to more people. It's not unusual for people to come up downstairs to come to me and say, I was watching this for a number of months and now finally I'm here live, as it were. So please, if you could give a Sunday to help out our broadcast team. It's very easy for them to train you, but I think they're doing a wonderful job. As I mentioned, Crystal is doing a wonderful job in terms of our youth and family ministry program. We need some volunteers. Please sign up sheets in the back if you can give a Sunday. I've talked about all things mystical and metaphysical that Pamela has been spearheading. This week, Barbara is going to be back. She's going to be talking about connections with pets. My cat Sphinx turned to me and said, "Finally, at long last, you're getting to the real issue." So I'm really looking forward to that. The Eye of the Storm Spirit Circle, which I mentioned, goes into greater depths on what we've talked about. Zoom 7:30 on Monday. Please sign up if you've not already done so to be there. Thanksgiving is coming, and on November 23rd at 2 p.m., we will be having a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner right here. There's a sign-up sheet right in the back. If you can bring a dish, please bring a dish. Not mandatory, but let us know. Let us know if you're coming. November 15th, we're going to do yet another new member class. I'm so grateful that we've been able to do this will be the third one we've done this year. And the class will be at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Again, sign up sheet in the back. Please sign up. Now, before I was hired, a lot of you will remember, Reverend Lori Gist came here and facilitated several excellent, I went to one of them. They were really good workshops where it got out, what do you want to see at Unity in the Seven Hills? What's working here? What's not working here? It was wonderful discussions. Out of that came the Dream Team. And so many goals that the Dream Team talked about have been accomplished and done. They're still working, but I mean, so the question is, where do we go now? How does it look, after a year? I've been here. good things have started to happen. How do we keep the ball rolling? I think there will be important discussions. Your input is really welcomed and needed. It will be Saturday, November 11th at 10 a.m. right here in the church, and then Sunday at 10:30, following the 10:30 service, downstairs in the Namaste Cafe. We'll continue the discussion. I'm really Lori Gist is such a wonderful facilitator. We love her dearly around here. Don't put it down on your calendar, and we're looking forward to you being there. Fall cleanup, November 10th. It will be on a Friday, November 10th, fall cleanup. It will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Speak to Bob back there, who will also be downstairs. Any questions about that? We could really, really honestly, truly use your help on this. Next Sunday, November 5th, will be Family and Friends Day. Folks who really Unity could really help them. Invite them next week. We'll have a wonderful potluck downstairs. We'll have tons of food. It will be great fellowship afterwards. I'm bringing, hopefully it will work out, good friends in Lynchburg that I'm getting to come next week. So we would ask you, please, take one of these cards, give them to friends and family, and we're looking forward to that. Another wonderful thing, which is coming up, is the Festival of Light. The chair of Festival of Light, guess what, is our wonderful Pamela Smith. Pamela, we know it's going to be wonderful, but tell us.
Okay, I want to invite you to the 15th Annual Festival of Light. It's a spiritual and holistic fair. We have over 30 booths with incredibly wonderful, magical people. We have readers and healers and teachers and anything that you would want for your spiritual practices. We have beautiful artwork. There will be fantastic lectures there. We have several people from our own church here who will be having a booth or giving talks, so come and support them. And there's also going to be great food there, so you can come and feed your body, mind, and your soul. It is going to be on Saturday the 4th from 10 to 5, and on Sunday the 5th from 11 to 5. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.
And let's say I would love to give a wonderful Unity blessing to Pamela for all that she's doing. Pamela, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we truly behold the Christ in you. Thank you. Our prayer chaplain is Johnny Dapp, who will be here for your individual prayers afterwards. And now we come to one of my favorite parts of the service, something wonderful.
Let's stand and sing, everybody. Let's go. Hit it. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine. Yes, we can. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. Something wonderful. Woo. So let's do the blessing of abundance, blessing of the gifts. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. And just before we finish, let's hear from the youth today.
It's on. We have had a lot of people support the youth, and I'm just so happy about everybody, and I appreciate every single one of you. We get gifts constantly, but I really felt like I needed to take a little bit of extra time and thank Miss Lisa. It seems like every week she comes to me with a new book or, something for the kids, not to forget everybody else, Robin and Mary and everybody that has donated things. But 2 weeks ago, Lisa donated a humongous trash bag of the most beautiful stuffed animals, and I was able to give them out to the kids last week, and they cherished every single one of them so much they weren't willing to give up any. So today we've written you some thank you notes, and we truly appreciate you.
Thank you. Let's close with, just before we do, Barbara McGillicuddy, thank you for your service this morning. Thank you for your songs and your meditation. And don't forget, Wednesday she's going to be doing the 1:30 metaphysics and meditation, or whatever it is. But the most important thing is, if you're not there, it will be a catastrophe. All right, let's close with the peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. See you all downstairs, unless you want a prayer. And time change next week. And don't forget, it's Judy Rose's birthday today, so let's celebrate. Woohoo!